Another night lost. Even though I vowed to tackle my goals when I got home from the office. And look at me. Already 2 episodes into a show I absolutely hate. Tired of wasting my time, I did what any respectable grown-up would do. I Googled, why am I wasting my evenings? Only to spend another 45 minutes watching videos about being productive that I never implemented. But then I decided to change it for good. And today I'm sharing things I actually did to stop wasting my evenings, only to start winning them back. Let's get straight into it. I began by defining what wasting time was to me. Everybody told me to stop watching TV. But every now and then, that's just what I needed to do, to top off my own cup. What did concern me, however, was how I felt after. I realized that I was either feeling anxious, stuck, or at times even relaxed. I took these feelings as my warning signs. I figured out that for me, productivity had nothing to do with doing more. And I think so is the case with everyone else. An hour of Netflix with intention? All right. 5 hours to escape life? Yeah, that's an issue. So step 1, start by defining this for yourself. I started to fill my nights with purpose. You know, Parkinson's law states that your work will fill any free space. So I decided to fill it intentionally. I started resting at certain times and studying at other. However, I tamed myself to never mindlessly scroll. It wasn't long when I recognized that when my nights had purpose, they worked out for me. So much so that even a loose plan sufficed. And not only did purpose direct my focus, it grounded it as well. Even when motivation faltered, possessing direction is what drew me out. No mission, no guardrails. And that's how nights get wasted without you realizing. I started implementing a shutdown procedure, the idea courtesy of Cal Newport. As soon as the clock struck 6 p.m., I spoke the words, "Workday's over," out loud. I started treating it as the cue for my brain to shut down, just as flossing before bed is the cue for sleep. This single phrase became a divide between the work me and life me. Without it, I knew I'd be sucked into emails or rehearsed meetings over dinner. But with it, I'm present. I stole back 4 good hours of serenity from a 5-second habit. Then I began hiding my phone, like a grown-up hiding a candy from a toddler. Oh, and it certainly is not easy. That thing's my favorite frenemy, constantly tempting me but never being helpful. So now it gets stuck in a drawer for 1 to 2 hours after work. No buzzes, no ghost notifications, just pure serenity. D-Scout discovered that the average user touches their phone almost 2,617 times a day. But me, I was definitely over average. By eliminating just one trigger, I broke the auto-scroll cycle for myself. It allowed me the peace of mind to truly make decisions about how I spent my time, rather than lapsing into distractions. Then at last I started eating like a human being, and not a raccoon. Dinner for me was once cereal or takeout on the couch while watching Netflix. Now, I prep 3 to 4 simple meals per week, batch them, and freeze them up. You might think it's about health, but it is not. It's more about mindfulness. And let's face it, adulting is 40% consuming vegetables you don't like, right? Now we come to another important fact. You see, decision exhaustion is real. After work, I never had the willpower to choose between reading, journaling, and walking. So I established a default evening routine for myself. It was plain and simple, honestly. A 20-minute walk, 15 minutes of reading, and 10 minutes of brain dump journaling. Although I still don't do it every single night, but it is regular enough to be a habit. I also started scheduling one event per weeknight. It could be a game night, a call, just anything fun. This stopped my nights from becoming a beige blur. You see, when enjoyment is woven into things, you'll be more inclined to do them. And that's how you break the cycle. And then naturally, there was the rule of no work after dinner. There was always just one more thing to do after dinner. An email, a Slack message, a spreadsheet that I really did not want to look at, but somehow did anyway. So I set a boundary, no work after dinner. Like none. Not even mentally practicing out conversations in my head. This drew a distinct psychological line in the sand. My mind was aware that it needed to shut down eventually. And with that new expectation, my concentration during work time also increased, since now I had a deadline. This is when I started realizing that deadlines are more tangible when they're safeguarded by routine. On certain evenings, I simply had zero energy to get anything done. So I made a deal with myself. Play later, work first. type for 30 minutes, and then watch something on YouTube. I started another routine for myself. I would sweep the kitchen while listening to a podcast. This is what you call temptation bundling, combining what you like to do with something useful. Binge watching shows? For sure. But only when I'm folding laundry or stretching in between. This made boring tasks into opportunities for enjoyment rather than barriers. And to the science of behavior, such dopamine-fueled, habit-stacking ads follow through in a manner which is impossible for raw willpower to accomplish. My learning process also made me realize that a messy desk breeds a messy mind. I didn't think so until I actually tried it myself too. When the world around me was cluttered, I resorted to non-purposeful behavior. When it was organized, however, I chose to do purposeful tasks. So I began performing a 5-minute cleanup each night before doing anything else. Now it's a little thing, I know, but that reboot gave my mind a blank slate to work on. For me, it was as if a clutter-free desk almost whispered, "Hey, let's do something good with this evening." And that little nudge made more of a difference than I honestly knew. Surprisingly, lighting is known to impact mood and concentration more than we realize. I noticed that a bright white light turned my evenings into cold, antiseptic affairs. Maybe as if I was still sitting in an office cubicle. So naturally, I replaced those bulbs with warm ones. I also brought a lamp or two for my room, and voila. My apartment began to feel like a space where I could thrive, not merely work. For my mind, this change of setting implied that it's time to relax. Recent studies have established that warm lights are known to enhance the release of melatonin, which makes it easier for us to fall asleep. Now that's a productivity boost that starts at dusk. Just as I had to have a morning wake-up alarm, I found that I need to have a night wind-down alarm as well. Now mine is set for 8:45 p.m. and asked me to start unplugging, my dude. I know it's silly, but hey, it works. This little gem was my reminder to close down my laptop, set the scrolling aside, and go into low-energy mode. It also reminded me that tomorrow's excellence is created today by what I do tonight. One small beep equals one enormous mindset shift. It really is that straightforward. If I didn't get everything done on my list, my mind would nag me all night, like a dog with a chew toy, honestly. So I began saying out loud, "That's enough for today." It was simple, but it was powerful. Saying I was done enabled me to enjoy evenings rather than reliving my day in my mind. Ironically, that small act of generosity towards myself made me more energized and productive the next day. I came to terms with the fact that my mind did not want more work after work. However, technically, it still had work to do. So I gave it a second shift. Anything like creative hobbies, exercise, or fanciful learning works. That is how I finished online courses, learned to play the guitar, and stayed human after 7 p.m. Believe me, no spreadsheets required. I realized that doom scrolling in bed, half watching TV, and scanning emails wasn't rest. It was half resting, and it took more from me than it provided. True rest, like walking, reading, or meditating, is what renewed me. Because you see, the issue isn't being more productive, it's actually resting better. Now, I don't know about you, but whole rest always wins over adequate rest. As simple as that. I also brought a little notebook with me, and at night wrote down something that actually made me feel good. Not necessarily amazing, just made me happy. Slowly but surely, patterns began to emerge over time. Cooking dinner, having coffee with a friend, listening to music. Nothing out of the box, just life's simple pleasures. And once I recognized what really renewed me, I could make a point to do more of it and stop wasting nights pursuing things that didn't. Turning my evening shower into a ritual also helped me greatly. I'd light a candle, play calming music, and let 10 minutes of hot water reset my mind. It wasn't about getting clean, it was about unwinding. This one peaceful habit nudged me toward journaling or resting instead of falling into default doom scroll mode. The more time I spent staying up late, channel surfing, or scrolling, the poorly I slept and the more fatigued I felt the next day. That's when I discovered sleep pressure, our natural accumulation of fatigue. I understood that the trick was not to resist it, but to give in to it. I began to lower the lights, not downing late-night caffeine, and showing respect for sleep as a necessity, not an afterthought. Suddenly, nights were no longer throwaway hours, rather planned recovery time. This was my secret ace for looking better the next day. This is where adulthood converges with habits, friendships, and the after-work you. When I began to treat my evenings with the same purpose as my workday, things started to change. I stopped wondering, how much can I pack into tonight? Rather, how can I invest in tomorrow? Because let's face it, your day doesn't begin at 7 a.m., it begins tonight. Now, for what it is worth, these weren't fancy morning hacks done in reverse, rather slow, intentional changes, one night at a time. So there you have it. If this video saved your nights from the jaws of chaos, hit that like button like it just cut through your downtime cycle. Subscribe to our channel for additional bite-sized learning on productivity and personal finance. And I almost forgot, comment down below and tell us what's a thing you do that gets your nights back to yours. See you in the next one. In the meantime, watch your nights like they're gold, because they really kind of are.